gains. It's just good, another good way of... Also, I get a little bit frustrated when I go into a department store and look at menswear, and it's just so bland and boring. And then the other side of it is everyone's talking about menswear, and the problem is the people that are sort of making a name, it just doesn't look natural. It all looks very try-hard. They don't, you know, it's all fine. They wear a nice cool little hat, they wear a nice pair of bespoke shoes, but there's no natural feeling in it.
So no one can take your experience. It's a very valid point, and our demographics are 18 to 24. So for me, I'm going to put it back on you. With your experience, you need to be educating, and that's what's not happening. Right?
And that's right. I mean, I think, the other thing is, I mean, even really, it's amazing that I'm not being used to do talks to do with the men's London collection. Maybe the whole problem is as well, they don't like people that are non-conformists and have done it on their own terms. You know, I've never kissed anyone's behind. You know, they all know me, all the hierarchy, the guys that do books on suits that look like crap themselves. I mean, I do this every day and I look good every day, you know what I mean? I'm not someone cashing in the chips and doing a book on men's tailoring and not really got a great knowledge. I mean, it's easy to just find loads of great pictures of men's tailors and then say, oh yeah, this is what I do, you know.
You know, we had a great tweet. I'm 18, where do I go from here? Where does the 18-year-old come? Does he come to Mark Powell?
Well, the thing is, that's the other thing we're trying to really capture. I mean, if you go for example, on my Facebook page, there's some great pictures of me with my son when he was 15, 16, looking, you know, really, really dapper. And that was what we were trying to say with that, really, that, you know, my style transcends ages. You know, you can be a 16, 17-year-old that wants to look cool. In fact, yesterday we had a really cool kid that keeps coming in here every couple of months. He's like a little mod kid, but he dresses really, really well. He's doing it well. He's only young, and then, you know, I'd rather be educating the young kids to dress more stylishly, but not in that sense of them getting sucked into the marketing of how it's done through with menswear at the moment. You know, I mean, everyone is looking quite, you know, young guys are looking a bit more stylish, there's no question. But it's better if it does seem to be more like a natural passion. And that's what I would try and evoke in younger guys. How do they do it?
Because this is what they're saying. How do we...
Well, I mean, how I did it, we used to read books and we'd look at old movies and stuff like that. But that's not going to happen anymore, sadly. People's attention span's a lot shorter. So what we need to do, I mean, you know, even like things like, you know, how to wear a tie-pin, what do you do with a tie-pin, how to wear a hanky, how to tie a knot, what sort of socks to wear, spitting now, getting excited.
That's all right.
Socks, you know, it's, and also another key one for me, polish your fucking shoes. You know, a lot of guys don't polish their shoes, do they? You know, it's like, and also a very, very important one, personal hygiene. That's another one. Because some men, they put on a suit, but they're not exactly the most clean and, you know,
I can stop it if you want.
Is one of you on charge or not?
Potential customer.
Wow, brilliant.
I'm sure you are.
I presume you're Mr. Powell.
I'm Mr. Powell, very good.
How did you hear, have you heard of Mr. Powell before?
I saw his crest inside of the I can read. It's a wonderful trait.
Thank you. You know, I do a lot of stuff at the moment with London College of Fashion. They've been bringing a lot of young students to see me. But funny enough, it's nearly all been girls, which I don't mind. It's quite nice having young girls coming around to see me.
Your nightclub's coming back to you.
That's lovely. But, you know, it would be nice if there was a lot more younger men as well coming in to be educated about style, you know.
I was actually in Top Man in Brighton, and he said, can men's style fashion help me, Gracie? I want to be a tailor, but I don't know where to start.
Well, the other thing is, this is another thing that's happening. You walk down Savile Row, there's loads of young men with beards suddenly walking around, just training up as tailors. But the point is, it's not as easy as that, is it? You know, again, it's more like, oh, I just want to be a tailor. I don't know. I mean,
the trend.
It's a trend. That's the problem with it all. All this sort of great energy and passion that's coming into menswear at the moment, especially with traditional influence style, is unfortunately a bit more trend-led than natural. I mean, I think there is a point to say that, yeah, maybe more or less everything has been done with menswear in a sense. I mean, the philosophy a lot of the guys are coming up with is, you can imagine me, I'm 16, yeah, I did have blue hair, yes, I did wear makeup, yes, I did do all the sort of Bowie, the flamboyant, dandy thing. By the time I was 19, 20, I'd already realised that a far more cool way to express style was by dressing in a very classic men's way. And I think even to a point with what's happening with the trend at the moment, maybe guys are seeing that as well. You know, you can women do appreciate a man looking very, very elegant and stylish. I mean, it's always done me well over the years, irrespective of me being Mark Powell. I mean,
well, I'm glad you brought it up. Actually, I am the only woman in the world that's talking about men's style fashion.
Yeah.
And it was created by frustration. I woke up one morning and thought, what the fashion's going on here?
Yeah. It's also knowing how to wear a suit. My only problem when I do fashion shows, when I have done, in fact, I'm going to be doing a one of all places in Ibiza in August.
Wow.
You know, to quite a lot of people, 1,500, 2,000 people.
Wow.
But I'm looking at more the images and the style we'll get, you know, pictures we'll get from it. I haven't done a key fashion show for a few years. The problem is I normally have all my mates and characters that I use in the shows and mix them in with models, because models can't walk. They sort of like, they walk all stiff, they can't, they don't, you know, they haven't got a natural bowl or
talk
swagger.
about that. It's shocking posture at LCM.
I mean, I bet some of
they're
them
not being
look
trained.
a joke in the shows, don't they? Because they don't normally wear suits, and if they do. See, the other problem is this look at the moment where they're sort of bursting out of the suit. Is that cool? I'm not sure about that. And I think it's a bit, again...
I tell you where the problem is.
Arms are bursting out, buttons are pulling in the wrong places. I mean, even Daniel Craig as James Bond is doing that look at the moment. That's one of the problems. And the other thing is, of course, a lot of these young guys, they don't really have the natural... They're not really feeling, if you like, the vibe of what they should feel like in a suit. I mean, I get other clients and one that turn around and say, oh, when I wear your suits, I feel this, I feel that, which is what you want. But my key problem is when I use models in the show, because they've not actually naturally worn my suits much before, and even if you watch big shows in Milan, a lot of these guys, they don't really look great in the suits.
I got a great idea, but I'm going to tell you off camera.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, I mean, really, I've always worked with a lot of my shows. I've used older clients with character. I like to use younger guys, but I normally have to try and find the right sort of younger guys. I mean, and as for this thing at the moment with, as I say, that over-tailored look, getting back to it on a tailoring level, it's pretty passé now anyway. I mean, if you look, I did this in 2001. You know, when I did short jackets for men, they were laughing. You know, I mean, about 3 or 4 years later, they were doing it in Milan. You know? So that's the other thing, is my style's not like just stuck in a time warp and that's my style. I've always been very adapting of how I do and how I feel things. And for me, it's a no-brainer. You just do the opposite of what's going on in fashion, you know?
Talking of myth opposite.
See, the caffeine's really kicking in now.
It's all right. Mark, I come from an Italian background. I don't care what you say. Style's in our blood.
Well, all day long, not in English.
And my father immigrated to Australia. On a Sunday, in rural Australia, he's in a suit. What is it? What is it about the Italians?
Well, the Italians, again, because they do style in a far more natural way, don't they? You know, that they feel it. The only thing I would say of Italians, they do have an immense respect for English traditional style.
We're not having a rivalry.
But they've just taken it and made their look their own, haven't they? I mean, at the end of the day, if you want to see a thing of a million ways to wear a grey suit or a million ways to wear a blue suit, dark blue suit, there's no one better than the Italians. Because they'll do it, and they'll do it just the way they do their tie. They're better naturally with colour, coordination, and it will be actually quite a generic look, but it's the way they do it. Even just they always wear tan or brown shoes with a dark blue suit's another thing, you know. So.
Excuse me, our followers, USA. Yeah.
Very good.
So the thing that frustrates me with Americans is the cap.
Yeah. Love her hats.
So how can we, Mark?
What's that?
Do you mind? Can we style you today?
First thing I'd have to do is get rid of his baseball hat. That's the thing I'd have to do.
Okay.
If I was going to do that, I'd just say that.
Terrific.
Right.
And then his hair's all dishevelled now, and needs me to...
Yeah.
I know.
What's the occasion?
Life in London.
Oh,
Very
okay.
lovely place to be. City
Well, you
is
actually met
exceptional.
a proper London, and that's something you don't do every day.
I hear it. I hear it. It's not.
He would have a 30, probably a 38, I
Right.
think would probably be perfect for him. But I mean, you know, equally it's very, because it's a small front and there's a panel through the front of the waistcoat, the shape on the front isn't that bad. Once you took the lining or excess lining away from the back of the waistcoat, it actually, you know, you could actually look cool. The length of it's all right.
Nice.
But you've got the classic problem, you've got your bottom button done up, that sartorial etiquette.
Ah.
You never have your bottom button done up on the waistcoat.
Expose the belt buckle. That's right.
There you
Gotta
go.
get the big.
This is the American versus the Englishman. It's very, very interesting,
But it's
isn't
actually
it?
good